Getting ready in the morning to make the mold for the Frankenfurter sculpture. Got everything laid out. Sculpture's finished and signed on the back. You're ready to do this. Mold making morning. Gonna get started here. First, crystal clear. You now make, since I have to drink some coffee too, while that crystal clear is drying, I'm going to do a few layers and start getting clay together for my clay walls. Move this closer, further away actually. This is a piece of wood with two small pieces of wood in between, which is the width of the block of clay. And this is something I learned in Jordan Shell's likeness sculpting class one last fall, to make this piece of this wood clay block for cutting the clay. This is just an open piece of clay I've been using. So I'm going to use the other end, which is the flat end. I'm going to put it on that. Let me turn this bag back inside out. All right. So I take my clay cutting wire and I put the clay in between the slots, and I just use the wire, and it makes, this helps make a perfect slice of clay. So I can make my clay walls an exact equal width. I don't have like lumpy clay, or trying to cut a perfectly nice slice manually without this thing. Good luck with that. All right, so I sprayed my sculpture with crystal clear, and I cut my clay into more than enough strips to make clay walls. I've got some extra pieces here because I'm going to cut this big piece. I'm going to use that. It's a little too thick. I'm going to cut this and to make my keys out of that. So that's next. All right, let me move this light. So the clay wall is up. And see, I did the behind the ear. Let me this side's better. I did it like this. That way the seam is going to be on the back earlobe. So even if it's a bad seam, it's on the back of the ear. So I put my keys in. I'm now going to do something that I told you about that I do. And let me turn this thing. That's good. All right, just as a precaution, I do this. Remember I told you about my wood? So this is the part of the mold that would always, still always freaks me out, this clay wall, because I'm afraid it's going to fall off. So I take this piece of wood and this 25-pound weight, 20-pound weight, and I bring it here So it's applying just a little bit of pressure. So that's really stiff, and that's pushing up against that clay wall. So if it starts to get a little loose or whatever, this wood is going to keep it in place. And I used to do it a few years ago when I first was starting out, because clay walls would fall off and while I was doing my splash coat or something, and would freak me out. So I came up with this idea on my own, and I just do it. I probably don't need to do it anymore because I make better clay walls, and I've been doing molds. This is like my 42nd or 43rd mold or something. But I do it because it's not hurting. There, see? So it looks weird, but it's not hurting anybody. It's only giving me a little extra strength. So, after I do the first couple of splash coats or whatever, before I do burlap, I can remove the wood and the weights, but it just makes me feel a little more confident. So that's why I do it. All right, this is where we are now. I did a couple of splash coats on this. The burlap is next. That's saran wrap. I put that on before I start any of the mold. It just helps, just in case, not that it happened, but just in case any ultracal, when I'm putting the splash coats, it goes on this side. I don't want ultracal on the front, so I put the saran wrap. When the burlap section is done and the back of the mold is done, I'll just remove the saran wrap. But so far so good. Things are moving along smoothly, and I'm gonna get back to it. All right, so the back half of the mold is done. It's setting now. I'm gonna take a 15-minute break, walk away, come back, and get ready to do the front. All right, so here's where we are. About to do the splash coat on the front of the mold, front of the mask. I got them all Vaselined up. Got everything ready to go here. I started at 5 a.m. this morning. It is now a little after 8 o'clock, so things are moving along. So, back to work. Okay, kids, it's 9:15 in the morning. The mold am done. Well, I mean, it's not pried apart or cleaned yet, but I just did the beauty coat on the front. Still drinking coffee. So I started at 5 a.m., so it's been a little over 4 hours from coming down here, turning the lights on, and spraying the first crystal clear in the sculpt to now having them. 4 hours is not bad. Not bad at all. Hope I got a good mold in there. I'm gonna let that set for about 20 minutes. Pry it apart. Hopefully everything comes apart good and we got a nice mold. Take it out back if I need to hose it, get any excess wet clay out. And then I gotta actually get to work for my real design job that actually pays me money. So, later. All right, well, the mold is separated, cleaned out. Letting it sit up here. I'm taking a break. A couple of small air holes here and there, nothing major. So I'm taking a well-deserved break now, and I'll come down later and fix those air holes, and then we'll be done with the mold. All right, well, it is a little before 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, and this is the Frankenfurter mold, and I think I'm gonna take it out because it's pretty much done. It seems. It's pulling away from the mold inside. This is not a very thick mask. It's not a very big mask. So I feel pretty confident it's done. So we're gonna take it out. I already powdered it. I already took the tape off the outside. Because that's not very interesting for a video. So let's see what we have. Let's see if we have a good mask and a good pull. I want to make this mask already. I sculpted it. I made the mold on Monday. I poured the latex yesterday morning. I did a few layers and I kept it overnight for like 12 hours overnight with a box fan blowing right into the opening. So. And I did a painted layer, and I did a couple of slush pours in there. I didn't dwell, because I don't want this thing to be very thick, because I have to cut open the eye holes And it's gonna have a full head of hair, which is gonna thicken it up because the glue will make it thicker, make it more strong. So this is gonna be just as thick as my riff-raff mask, which was more than enough. All right, and I also want to see if that repair I made on the neck looks good. All right, that's the back. Hit my carbine. All right. All right. Let's see how we did. Oh yeah, it's coming right out. It's done. It's a little dirty. Still a little bit of clay residue on this. So I'll have to wash it out. See if we got a good pull. Looks good to me. No air bubbles. Teeth look good. Yeah, this is good. All right. He's got some, grime on him from clay residue because it's the first pull ever. But yeah, okay, success. Yay. All right.
They may do some more folk dancing.
Look, I'm cold, I'm wet, and I'm just plain scared.
I'm here. There's nothing to worry about.
How'd you do? I see you've met my faithful handyman. He's just a little brought down because when you knocked, he thought you were the candy man. Don't get strung out by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Let me show you a rhyme, maybe play you a sign. You look like you're both pretty groovy. Or if you want something visual that's not too abysmal, we could take in an old Steve Reeves movie.
I'm glad we caught you at home. Could we use your phone? We're both in a bit of a hurry.
Right.
We'll just say where we are, then go back to the car.
Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Furter.
We don't want to be any worry.
Well, you got caught with a flat world. How about that? Well, babies, don't you panic. By the light of the night, it'll all seem all right. I'll get you a satanic mechanic.